Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the SoCal Sports Dudes podcast. Jason Wayne here. Hey, today I want to come at you guys, Laker fans, particularly with a early look at the offseason, what guys might be on the list or potential free agents out there that might make sense for our team for next year. Unfortunately, the Lakers season ended a little while ago when we got swept by the Nuggets. Still kind of reeling from that one, but but hey, it is what it is. We had a good season, had a good run. Now we got to keep some of our guys, re-sign some of our guys and try to add to the roster. So notable free agents, of course, Austin Reaves, Rui Hachimura, D'Lo's a free agent, Schroeder, Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown, Wenyan and Tristan were both free agents. But yeah, man, I think the first order of business is to re-sign Austin Reaves, re-sign Rui Hachimura. I think those guys definitely deserve our attention and deserve, we should target them or find every way possible to bring them back and not let them get away. Schroeder, I think he did a really good job as our backup point guard. Guy I would like to see back, not necessarily for a starting role, but I think just a complementary piece. He really brings a nice defensive tenacity there to the team. I think Darvin Ham likes having him, to be able to plug in and stick on opposing point guards. Lonnie Walker IV, the guy I'd like to see back, but at the right price. And what else can we get for that number? I think we'll have to keep our options open when it comes to that. I think a lot of Laker fans probably would agree. I would agree with them that maybe D'Lo played himself out of a contract there. I mean, he didn't do anything for us in the playoffs. We really needed him. He kind of came up empty and disappeared on us, and maybe we can look at other options there for the point guard. So let's go position by position real quick. So I'll start with the guards. D'Lo, of course, a guy that's our free agent, but can we find better options out there aside from him? Fred VanVleet from Toronto would be a great fit, a guy who plays some defense and hit some threes. I think, maybe he's going to command a salary kind of in the range that D'Lo would get. Kyrie Irving, of course, a guy that's, I'm sure, at top of a lot of people's list. But I don't know, from what you've been reading, I mean, how realistic is that for us to be able to really go out there and get him? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to throw all my eggs in one basket and get Kyrie and then miss out on re-signing our own guys who I think give us more depth, which makes our team better ultimately overall. Some other names, Gary Trent Jr., he'd be, I think, a great pickup. Karis LeVert. Seth Curry, a guy who can hit some threes. I would not mind having a knockdown, dead-eye three-point shooter. George Hill's getting kind of up there, but, if you lose Schroeder, maybe you plug in a George Hill type as a backup point. Guy we had before, Wesley Matthews. He's kind of a defense-first type guard, can actually guard play some forward too, so he's a pretty good defender. Gabe Vincent, a guy who's made some noise here and made a name for himself here in the playoffs. Guy I'm sure Miami's going to try to hold on to, but that'd be a guy I think would be a great fit for us. Max Strus, a free agent. Reggie Jackson, Will Barton, Patrick Beverly, a guy we are familiar with. I don't know, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back as like a backup type, depending on what how the rest of the offseason kind of plays out. Forwards, Jeremy Grant, a guy I would love to see here, but of course, what's the cost? He could probably get a lot more than we could probably pay him. Harrison Barnes, Kelly Oubre, our buddy Dylan Brooks is a free agent. I mean, I don't know. I'm willing to put that behind us, and if he's going to join us and give us some rugged defense, maybe there's a spot for him. I'm not a huge fan of his behavior there, but I mean, get him out of Memphis and put him on our side. Maybe he's the type of guy that you love to have on your side, but hate to play against. And I don't know. He'd bring effort and defense. I don't know about much else of his game and his attitude, but hey, Josh Richardson, Jay Crowder, Joe Ingles. Bomani Jones calls him Ingles, but Joe Ingles, he can hit threes, man. He'd be a guy I think would be kind of a neat fit. I see Bobby Portis is another guy. I wouldn't mind seeing him here. So a couple of ex-Milwaukee Buck types that Darvin Ham might have a liking or a spot for them or a soft spot for them to plug them into the lineup. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to, depending on who else, of course, we can get, how the rest of the roster is starting to shape up. Jeff Green, a guy who played good against us in that Denver series. Torrey Craig, Jalen McDaniels, solid kind of lengthy defender type. Markieff Morris, a free agent again, a guy I thought who helped us in the bubble there. May not be, might have lost a step since we had him, but nonetheless, kind of a guy who can be like our enforcer and maybe a guy who can come in and, play some minutes at some of the bigger spots there. Iguodala, TJ Warren, a guy I think who I wouldn't have minded last offseason. Trey Lyles, a guy who's got some length. Danny Green, someone more familiar with. Watanabe's a free agent, and you get the Japanese connection there, man, with Rui and Watanabe. Man, Watanabe's a pretty good shooter. So the bigs, Brook Lopez, a guy that's free agent, I would love to see back here. He was, of course, a one-time Laker only for a year, but he's, again, another Milwaukee Buck guy that maybe has that connection to Darvin Ham, that maybe that's going to entice him to come over. Yeah, his twin brother Robin's also a free agent, but I mean, I'd go for Brook. Robin, I don't know. Christian Wood, a solid player, can stretch the floor. I don't know how, size-wise, if he's going to be able to guard like, some of the players that Brook would be able to seem to handle with his size, and, Brook now being able to hit the three. Mason Plumlee, he came over midseason to the Clippers, but a guy who's big, man. He can, grab some rebounds. He's, I don't know, I think we could use some help on the glass there. Jakob Poeltl, Blake Griffin's getting up there a little. I don't know how much gas he's got left in the tank. Thomas Bryant, I liked having him last year. I kind of doubt he's going to want to re-sign with us, after requesting a trade midway through the season. Mo Wagner, a guy we drafted, and I don't know, he's got some abilities there. Myers Leonard. Of course, I think a lot of it depends too on Mo Bamba. We still have him under contract, I believe, for next year. So can we get him back healthy and maybe find a more of a role for him? Is he going to be a guy that we might flip and trade into something else? I don't know. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, as it stands, there's not there's a lot of work to do to fill out our roster. We only have a few guys under contract, mainly LeBron, AD. I believe Mo Bamba is one of those. And then, a lot of other spots to fill there. So we're going to be busy, man. We're going to have to, we got a draft pick, of course. We got Reaves and Rui. I'd love to see back. Maybe get back Schroeder on all hopefully team-friendly type deals that can, not only get these guys what they deserve, but also not handcuff us going into the future. And then, I think there's a few names on this list here. I think if they're willing to work with us on what kind of salary we could provide to them, there are ways to fine-tune and improve our roster. So, it's going to be interesting. Going to be fun to see how this kind of shakes out here. Of course, we got the NBA Finals come up now, Nuggets and Heat. I don't really have a horse in that race, man. It was kind of impressive, though, to see Miami beat Boston. So that was something I wasn't too upset to see. And then the coaching hires, we're seeing Nick Nurse now go to the Sixers. Looks like Monty Williams is going to go to Detroit. And what's the other one there? Looks like Milwaukee's going to hire Adrian Griffin. So we still got the Toronto, the Phoenix jobs. We're going to see how that shakes out. Bob Myers recently stepped aside from Golden State as their GM. So what does that do? Does Draymond Green suddenly become a free agent and get added to this list I was reading through here? Be a guy that might have, a role to play in LA with the Lakers because of his versatility there on defense. So, yeah, man, kind of fun, kind of exciting, I guess. Now we have to switch gears and look at that part of the team building aspect of it, since unfortunately our team's no longer in the playoffs and on to the finals as these last two teams are now. So I want to come at you guys with a video there real quick, kind of go through the list, and we'll see how this starts to shake down as the weeks and months come here as we get into the summer off season. So let's go Lakers, man. Hopefully we can put together a good have a good off season and have a good plan of attack there to improve our roster and build off of what we were able to how we were able to finish last year and what we were able to accomplish there, and keep the momentum going, man. So, let's go Rob, man. Let's go Rob. Let's go Lakers. Let's get some key pieces and strengthen this roster and put it together for another run next year, man. Go get number 18. So, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. All right, later.